Chapter 9. Cracks in the Mirror. Yuna couldn't sleep. Not since Arin. The girl's face appeared behind her eyelids every time she closed them. Wide eyes, trembling hands, disbelief. Yuna had justified her choice in 100 different ways. She told herself it was hypothetical, that the scenario wasn't real, that it was just a game. But deep down, something in her had changed. Something had cracked. Isolation. The next morning, she was escorted to a different room. Smaller, dimmer. No other contestants in sight. She was alone with her thoughts for hours. At first, she thought it was punishment, but as time passed, she realized it was observation. There were no guards, but the walls were watching, recording, waiting. Unexpected contact. Just after sunset, a tray was slid under the door. Food. Yuna reached for it and stopped. A folded slip of paper was tucked beneath the bowl. Smooth, handwritten, human. Yuna's breath caught. Marcus Kane? She barely knew him, only by whispers and rankings. The cold strategist, the so-called prodigy who never blinked during a match. Rumor says he'd memorized the top 10,000 quiz questions before the tournament even began. Why would he reach out to her? And how? Still, it didn't make sense. What could she possibly do that he couldn't? And more importantly, why should she help him? Yuna folded the note slowly, her fingers tracing the ink as if it might explain more. But it didn't. Not yet. She slipped the paper under her mattress, untouched food sitting beside her. The room felt colder now. The mirror room. That night, the guards returned, but not to escort her to a match. They brought her to a strange chamber filled with mirrors, floor to ceiling, all around her, a dizzying labyrinth of her own reflection. The voice of the arbiter echoed again.
You seek truth, Yuna Lee. Let us see how much you can handle.
A new category appeared above the chamber door. Category: Personal Knowledge. The first question struck like a knife.
On your 9th birthday, what lie did you tell your father?
Yuna froze. She whispered, "What is this?" The system didn't answer, just flashed a timer. She remembered the moment. The lie she told so he wouldn't miss work, so he'd feel like he hadn't failed her. Tears stung her eyes. She answered, "Correct." The next question came.
What did your mother really die of?
Yuna staggered backward.
No, that's not a quiz. That's not...
The mirror behind her changed, now showing her mother's hospital room. Not as she remembered it, but as it really was. They were using her memories, her pain. Control. She pushed through question after question, sobbing, yelling, refusing, only to be met with silence, countdowns, and a growing sense of invasion. They weren't just testing her intellect anymore. They were testing who she was. When it was over, the mirrors went dark. The arbiter's voice returned.
You passed. Your truth is statistically acceptable.
Yuna collapsed to her knees. This wasn't a game. It wasn't even survival anymore. It was exposure. And the worst part, she felt like something inside her had been rewritten. A dangerous yes. Yuna sat on the edge of her cot. The note from Marcus unfolded again in her hand, its creases worn now from repetition. Her reflection still haunted her. Not the literal one from the mirror room, but the version of herself she'd glimpsed, cornered, manipulated, stripped of control, a pawn trying to survive a game that changed the rules mid-match. She'd always believed in the purity of knowledge, that if you were smart enough, fast enough, sharp enough, you could win. But that illusion had shattered. The quiz genius wasn't just testing intelligence. It was shaping obedience, crushing empathy, turning thought into weapon. She whispered,
They're not trying to find the best of us. They're trying to burn us down.
And maybe Marcus, cold, ruthless, unreadable Marcus, was the only one who saw it coming early, the only one doing more than surviving.
Burn it down before it burns us.
The words he wrote echoed louder now. At the time, they'd felt like a threat. Now, they felt like a lifeline. Yuna didn't trust him, not fully, but she trusted the system less. She reached beneath the mattress and pulled out the second half of the note, the part Marcus had left outlining what he needed. Access, a specific time, a moment she could create to let him into the simulator wing. She stared at the paper for a long time, then folded it once, firmly.
I'll help you. Not for you. For all of us.